This morning, I woke up to some news that really shook me to the core. A man, only 71 years old, had passed away. I don't know why it hit me so hard, but it did. You see, 71 doesn't seem all that old, at least not when you're 80. But when you hear that someone who's just a few years older than you is gone, it forces you to stop and really think. It reminds you of how fragile life is, and how quickly it can all change. I can't help but think about how much time we all take for granted when we're younger. At 71, this man should have had more time, more experiences, more memories to make. But life doesn't always work that way, does it? We think we have all the time in the world to do the things we love, to fix the things we wish we could have done better, to say the words we're too scared to speak. We always think there's a tomorrow, a later, but sometimes there isn't. Sometimes, all we're left with is what we've done today. I remember when I was in my 60s, I thought I had all the time to get things right. I still had a lot of energy, a lot of plans. I thought, I'll get around to this or that when I'm ready. But as I've grown older, I've learned that ready doesn't always come. You don't always have the luxury of waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one you're living right now. So, when I heard the news this morning, I couldn't help but reflect on my own life. How much of it have I wasted waiting for the right time? What could I have done differently? But more importantly, it made me think about what I still have left. Time is the most precious thing we have, and we can't afford to waste it. If there's something you've been thinking about doing, something that's been on your heart for too long, don't wait. Do it now, before time slips away. As I get older, I can't help but think more and more about health. You see, when we're young, we often take our bodies for granted. I know I did. We push ourselves too hard, eat things we shouldn't, and don't think twice about the long-term consequences. But as the years go by, you start to realize just how fragile your body really is. And when someone passes at 71, like the man I heard about this morning, it really hits home. You might think, well, I'm still in good shape. But let me tell you, things can change overnight. One minute, you're walking just fine. The next, you're dealing with aches, pains, or worse. That's how it works when you're getting older. What we often don't realize until it's too late is that good health isn't just about feeling good today. It's about the choices you make every day that add up over the years. I remember a time when I thought I could eat whatever I wanted, stay up late, and work hard without any consequences. Back then I thought, I'm still young enough to bounce back. But the truth is, I didn't. And now, I've got some health issues that make it harder to do the things I used to love. It's frustrating, but it's also a reminder that health is something you have to nurture every single day. I'll tell you something, there are a lot of things in life you can't control, but your health isn't one of them. You don't have to be a fitness guru or eat perfect meals every day, but making small changes in how you take care of your body can make a big difference down the road. A little exercise, eating more vegetables, drinking enough water, these things add up. You don't have to go overboard, but start taking small steps. Trust me, your future self will thank you. So, no matter how old you are, don't wait until you feel run down to start taking care of yourself. Every day counts, and your body will remind you of that sooner or later. When someone passes, we often think about what they left behind, and it's rarely about the things they owned. In the end, it's not the car they drove, the house they lived in, or the money they saved up. What really matters is the kind of person they were, the way they loved others, the way they treated people, and the memories they created along the way. That's what we remember, and that's the legacy they leave behind. I think about this a lot, especially as I get older. At 80, I've had my fair share of time to reflect on my own life. I've thought about the people I've known, the family I've raised, the friends I've made, and I wonder, what will people remember about me when I'm gone? Will they remember the love I gave, the lessons I taught, or will they just remember the things I accumulated? Will they think of me as someone who made a difference in their life? I remember a man I knew years ago. He wasn't wealthy, didn't have a lot of fancy things, but he was one of the kindest people I've ever met. He always had time for others, always made people feel special, and always gave what he could, whether it was his time, a listening ear, or a simple act of kindness. When he passed, people didn't talk about his material things. They talked about his heart, his generosity, and the way he made them feel. He left behind a legacy of kindness and love, and that's the kind of legacy I want to leave too. So I ask myself, what am I doing right now to make sure that I leave behind something worth remembering? It's not about the money or possessions, it's about how I show up for the people I care about, how I live my life, and how I treat others. At the end of the day, that's what counts. And I think that's the legacy we should all strive to leave, one of love, kindness, and making a positive impact in the lives of others. As we grow older, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything in life should always be about doing more or achieving more. In our younger years, we're constantly chasing after the next goal, the next step, the next thing that will bring us success or recognition. But as the years go by, something changes. You begin to realize that the things you once thought were important, whether it was climbing the career ladder or accumulating material possessions, don't hold the same weight. They start to fade into the background, and what you're left with are the things that truly matter: the relationships, the love, and the experiences you've shared with those closest to you. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this over the years. There was a time in my life when I was so focused on work, on getting ahead, on proving myself. I worked long hours, sacrificed time with family, and let important relationships slip away. I thought that success was measured by what I had achieved and what I could show for it. But now, looking back, I realize just how much I missed. I missed out on simple joys, like playing with my children when they were young, or spending time with my partner when we could have just enjoyed each other's company. The passing of that 71-year-old man got me thinking even more about this. It was a reminder that, at the end of the day, the number of hours you put in at work or the size of your house doesn't matter nearly as much as the time you spend with those you love and the moments you create together. What really matters, and what I believe we should all focus on, is reassessing our priorities. In our later years, it's not too late to refocus on the things that bring us joy, peace, and fulfillment. Take a step back and think about how you want to spend your time. Is it chasing after something that doesn't serve you anymore? Or is it nurturing the relationships and experiences that make life truly worthwhile? It's never too late to realign your focus and start living for what truly matters. As I've gotten older, I've come to understand something that I wish I had known earlier in life. The things that really matter aren't always the things we spend the most time chasing. The things that bring true happiness and fulfillment are often the simplest things: spending time with family, enjoying a peaceful moment, or sharing a laugh with a friend. But for so many years, I was too focused on the hustle. I thought success was measured by how much I could achieve, how many goals I could check off my list. I worked hard, sacrificed time with loved ones, and told myself it was all for a good cause. But when I look back, I realize just how much I missed by not paying enough attention to what really matters. The passing of the 71-year-old man this morning hit me in a way that made me take a step back and reassess my own life. At that age, you start to wonder, what have I really accomplished? Sure, there are a lot of things that I can point to, but what have I done that truly made a difference? Have I lived my life in a way that reflects my values? Have I focused on the relationships that truly matter? Or have I been too distracted by everything else? I've come to realize that it's never too late to reassess your priorities. It's never too late to take a hard look at your life and ask yourself whether you're spending your time in ways that align with what truly makes you happy. If you're focusing too much on work or material things, it's time to change. You've earned the right to focus on the things that bring you peace, joy, and connection. Take a moment and think about it. Are you making time for the people who matter most? Are you doing the things that make you feel truly alive? Life is short, and it's easy to get caught up in the wrong things, but there's always time to refocus on what really matters. Take that step, even if it feels small. The changes you make now can lead to a more meaningful, fulfilling future. Facing the reality of our own mortality is never easy, but the older we get, the more we come to understand that it's an inevitable part of life. When I was younger, I fought it, maybe not consciously, but in the way I lived. I ignored the signs of aging, pushed through the aches and pains, and thought that the passage of time would somehow never catch up with me. But as the years go by and you hear about the passing of people who are just a little older than you, it hits you in a different way. The man who passed away at 71 this morning really got me thinking. I've learned that it's okay to accept our mortality. In fact, it's the only way we can truly live with peace. There was a time when I feared getting older. I feared not having enough time to accomplish everything I wanted to do. But the more I've lived, the more I've come to realize that worrying about how much time I have left doesn't help me live any better. it only robs me of enjoying the time I do have. The passing of a friend, a family member, or even someone you don't know personally reminds you that life is fragile. None of us can control when our time will come, but we can control how we live each day. I've found that, over time, peace comes from acceptance. It comes from understanding that our lives are finite, and that's okay. We don't have to be afraid of the end. In fact, it can be a motivator to live more fully in the present, to appreciate the time we have, and to make the most of every single moment. I've learned to stop worrying about things beyond my control. Instead, I focus on today, the people I love, the moments I cherish, and the work I still want to do. The more we accept that our time here is limited, the more we're able to appreciate the beauty in each moment, no matter how small. So, don't fear the end. Embrace it as part of life and let it inspire you to live with intention, love, and gratitude. As I reflect on everything I've shared today, it's clear to me that the most important lesson we can take from life's inevitable uncertainties is that time is our most precious gift. The passing of a 71-year-old man this morning has reminded me of something that we all too often forget. Life doesn't wait. We don't know how much time we have left, so the time we spend today is the only time we can truly control. Every day, we have the opportunity to make our lives count, to live intentionally, to show love, and to nurture the relationships that bring us joy. It doesn't matter how old we are, whether we're in our 60s, 70s, or beyond, there's always something we can do to make our days more meaningful. It could be something small, like calling an old friend or taking a moment to enjoy the sunset, or something bigger, like finally pursuing a dream you have put off for years. Whatever it is, don't wait for tomorrow. So, what do we take away from this? We need to focus on what truly matters: health, relationships, and living with intention. Don't get lost in the distractions of daily life. Take the time to care for yourself, cherish the people around you, and live in a way that you can be proud of when your own time comes. It's never too late to start making those changes, and it's never too late to start living the life you've always wanted. If this message resonated with you, if you feel like you've been reminded of something important today, I want to encourage you to keep coming back. We're here to share more reflections, tips, and life lessons to help you make the most of every single day. Subscribe to our channel and be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We'll be here every week, sharing insights that I hope will inspire and motivate you to live a life that's filled with love, peace, and purpose. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Let's walk through it together. Subscribe, join us, and let's make each day count.